accounted for? Can that be accounted for in setting up the experiment? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course, it's an observation.
Great, so it's accounted for. Next argument.
You can't eliminate the waves, so obviously you have
Yeah,
to take...
so why don't we not do it where there's water, like I said? Why can't I do it in Bolivia on the salt flats that are extraordinarily flat and don't have those obstacles?
Well, I don't live in Bolivia, so I test it where I'm at.
I didn't ask you where you live, you donkey cunt. I asked you, can't we eliminate that issue that you're bringing up and make it a non-issue by finding a place that eliminates that obstacle? The answer is yes. So what's your next point? Because your first point can be made irrelevant based upon the testing conditions. Next.
Right on. So Rayleigh criterion, don't forget that first one, guys, but Rayleigh criterion, it's...
The first one got debunked. I'm telling everyone in the comments to forget it because he lost that point. Next.
I forgot it already.
Well, you can make the sun disappear with your finger. So obviously a wave could make part
Next.
of it. Obviously a wave could make...
Didn't I just say we would do this where there is no wave? Didn't we just say that, donkey?
Talking about Chicago and the bottom...
Next.
So have you guys seen headlamps from a car? As they get further and further away, they converge into a single light.
Yes.
That happens due to Rayleigh criterion. The light becomes unresolvable. You can't see both of them. They merge into one. So now as things get further and further away and smaller and smaller and smaller towards the horizon due to perspective, the wavelength of light at the bottom will become unresolvable first because you've got the ground ramping up, appearing to, and the sky appearing to ramp down due to our azimuthal grid of vision.
Great. Explain to me how it is that would prevent you at a 60-mile distance from you being able to discern from a pink floor that's immediately below a blue floor.
Yeah, of course. So take that car and flip it on its side. So
floor, you donkey, floor.
Bro, can you stop insulting?
If you have, it's really hard not to insult someone so...
You're just berating me, dude.
I mean, it's really hard not to. You're incredibly stupid. I'm actually being polite.
Yeah, that's a sign of intelligence, right? Calling people stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's kind of... I never claimed to be smart. I just said I'm smarter than this moron.
Yeah, you just project.
Didn't I literally say I was the stupidest? Didn't I literally just say I was the stupidest globe earther? Shut up, bitch.
Doesn't make it better.
All right,
go cry to your mommy, okay? Your mommy gives a shit, not me.
Irish, you're triggered, bro. It's not a good look.
Oh yeah, I really sound.
There's another one.
Got me.
Can somebody?
You are.
Can somebody add a check mark to the triggered word?
Dude.
Oh no, I'm triggered. You got me.
Okay, so if you take that car, the headlight.
No, it wasn't a car. We're talking about a 20-story building.
I'm giving an example of why.
I didn't ask for your example, you donkey. I'll give you the example that I'm using. The example I'm using is you build a 20-story building. Did you just run like a little bitch?
Wait. Is this
all right, Stellar? You'll get a chance to show us how stupid you are now.
Vicar, why would we come to your live?
So explain to me this, Stellar. If I set the experiment in a Bolivian salt flat and I create a distance of 60 miles and I build a building that is 20 stories tall and the bottom floor is pink and the second floor is blue and the third floor is yellow and the fourth floor is black, can you explain to me why it is the optical effect that he was describing would prevent me from discerning between a blue, yellow, black, and pink floor, each of which is 10 feet tall?
That in particular thing that he was talking about was quite confusing. I have no clue.
Are you a flat earther?
What he was going on about. I'm just somebody who knows that I don't know anything.
Are you a flat earther?
No.
Do you believe the Earth is a globe?
Either.
Wait, did you come up here just to because you have an opinion on how Irish?
No, I want to have a civil discussion, and we can continue talking about this.
Discussion about what?
Know. But it was just the name calling was the
civil
main thing.
Discussion about what?
Because that guy wasn't calling you any names.
I don't care. I'm a bully. Civil discussion about what?
Just whether the Earth is flat or a globe.
Okay, why do you believe it's not a globe?
Do I believe it's not a globe? I believe it can be. I believe that it could be.
You
But
literally said that you don't believe it's flat and
no,
you don't believe
I
it's
didn't
a
mean
globe.
to. I didn't mean to say it that way. I should have said like I'm kind of agnostic to it. Like it could be one or the other to me. Because I really thought about it, and because both sides have a lot of things missing from it. Because if you're a globe earther, there's lots of things that aren't explained, like why things with large amounts of mass have things attracted to it, and we understand the laws, but we still don't know why. So we like created like gravitons and shit like that. We just like made it to be able to fit it inside the realm of quantum mechanics, but realistically, we don't know. And then you got flat earthers, and the thing with that is that their theories are all over the place because it's not as mainstream as globe Earth, and you don't have as many people on it, and like there's so much there's so much like people just trolling with it. But I've heard people actually make some pretty good sense out of things with that too, like electrostatics, density, buoyancy, things being positively, negatively charged, the atmosphere, things that have been lied to us.
Before you go on, could you give me an age, please? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, just want to make sure. Go ahead.
Sounds old, no?
Yeah, no, I definitely, I just can't, I got this voice when I was 13 and it just stuck.
No, I got you, but I just wanted to make sure. You know, we've got to make sure that everybody's got to be 18 plus on here.
Yeah, but pretty much. Yeah, and then like a picture like that picture, that would make sense on like a globe. You're putting like a flat Earth model on a globe Earth model. You know what I mean? Because there is no space for flat Earth.
Because flat Earth is stupid. That's why.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's stupid, because then that would be like, because even though science is badass and it's awesome and it got us where we are today, I mean, what progressed science was questioning it in the first place, no?
Yeah, questioning is a good positive thing. Making declarative statements that are not supported by evidence, that is literally the opposite of the scientific method.
Yeah,
If
but
you want to set, hang on, if you want to set forward a hypothesis, and that hypothesis is that the Earth is flat, that's fine. You then set forward tests that you will run in order to validate that hypothesis. What is the test that has been put forward to validate the hypothesis that the Earth is flat that has been proven to be true? Because I, not knowing anything about the globe, we've never debated this in our life, guarantee you I could give you 10 tests out of my ass that will prove that it's a globe. So what is the one test you know that you believe proves or strongly indicates that it's not a globe?
Oh, well, all of them. And hear me out.
Pick
The
one.
reason why
Pick
I think
one.
this,
Pick one.
and
Pick one. Pick one.
all
I
of
want
them.
you to tell me which one.
Well, I'm gonna go down a quick little list, like, because when people talk about distance and depth, and they're like, oh, this place in Michigan, or oh, in this place in Los Angeles, or oh, these mountains here and there. Let's say on a globe Earth model, if the Earth was like shaped like how they say like even in the realm of science, they say that it's not a perfect sphere, it's all bumpy. So if it's all bumpy, then some parts would be perfectly flat, some parts you'd be able to see over, some parts you wouldn't be able to. So experiments such as that would be redundant, no? And the same thing on a flat Earth model.
Experiments
like
such as
even
what?
on a flat Earth, like that doesn't mean that the Earth is completely flat. Some parts could be higher up than other parts, as long as it's primarily flat. So all those experiments about distance, things in the distance getting smaller, or like things like going away, that kind of becomes redundant.
Well,
If you really think about it in depth. I'm trying to have a really open mind.
No, I got you, Stellar. But here's the thing. The issue is this particular argument would have worked in maybe the 40s, but technology has allowed us the opportunity to debunk all of those.
No, I disagree. I disagree, because you say that, but at the same time, though, there's no like, because I know plenty of globe earthers who are like, the moon landing's fake, and it's like, okay, well, it's pretty obvious that. Okay,
but that's not the argument.
Yeah,
the
but like,
argument
why else would that be faked though? You know, like if there wasn't something to hide, why would there be something to fake?
What are they hiding though?
Exactly.
Why? Yeah, no one's been able to give me a reasonable answer as to why. Because flat earthers always say it's a conspiracy, it's a global conspiracy, but they can't answer why. They can never answer why.
Well, that's
Who's to gain from hiding the fact that the Earth is flat? Who?
but you hear what I'm saying, but you can't answer me why things with large amounts of mass have things attracted towards it. You can give
No,
me
but
the
you,
math.
hang on. Why things with mass have an attraction towards it, which we call gravity. You are correct.
Yes.
Gravity is not, as far as I understand, gravity is simply the word we've used to describe an observable phenomenon. And you're correct. We don't really understand the why behind it, right? It's not like electrons that attract or something. For some reason, we've just observed this, right? The fact that we have simply observed it but can't say why does not disprove the globe Earth. It's just another thing that should be answered as we're learning about the globe Earth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I like that.
Okay, so
but
why do you? So you don't have to keep. You should never, ever cite that again, because the absence of an answer is not proof against the flat Earth. Is not proof against the globe Earth.
Well, it's not, but it's cause of question. It raises eyebrows, and I'm not going to put water in a bucket if there's holes inside the bucket, right? So I want all the pieces of the pie before I'm ready to eat. You know,
There's no such thing as that. Do you
No,
understand the
there is.
hang on? You understand the scientific method? Never
Yeah.
is about getting the scientific method is not about getting quote unquote certainty. It's more about a journey towards certainty.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, you have to keep in mind that for thousands of years, people thought that the Earth was flat, and then only it was people who questioned that, which caused for them to find out the globe.
I'm
So-
not saying that it's not a bad thing to ask questions. I'm asking what is the question that hasn't been answered that shows the Earth is not flat, that shows the Earth is not a globe.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is that there isn't one, but that's why we have to get smarter and have these discussions.
So you don't believe, sorry, I know Ernesto's thinking, sorry, there's people in the, if there's any, Carlotta, I'll bring you up for just one moment, but is there anyone in the comments, if you're pro flat Earth, feel free to join.
I see Nathan is back in.
Yeah, feel free to join if you're
I think he went off and had a good cry, and he wanted to come back now. That's fine.
But I would like to have someone actually educate me on this, because I'm not understanding. In order for you to believe the Earth is flat, am I correct in saying you have to believe the moon landing was faked?
Well, look, all I'm saying is I just want y'all to have an open mind and question everything you've ever been taught, because it wasn't until I started doing that I really started realizing that all the puzzle pieces were not fitting correctly. They're not. And
Okay, stop right
you
there.
have to imagine,
What? Hang on, stop. I agree that if you're putting together a puzzle, when you imagine a jigsaw puzzle, right? I agree there's a couple of pieces missing, right? That doesn't mean that the puzzle doesn't actually contain the picture that we're able to see it contains, minus a couple of missing pieces. However, if you're saying there's some pieces that are overlapping in a jigsaw that clearly don't belong together, that's an inconsistency. What is the inconsistency in the globe Earth model that makes you say, if X is true, the globe Earth cannot be true? What is that inconsistency?
The curvature, there should be 2,400 feet of curve across.
Stellar. What is that inconsistency? Hey,
you asked
Nathan,
me
you
that-
can go. I'm asking Stellar.
you had asked me that in the very beginning, and I told you every single thing, every single
Name
experiment
one.
for both globe and flat Earth.
Name
like
one.
I told you, distance measuring.
What about distance measuring?
Okay, so that's why it's so hard, because then you say oh, the atmosphere and what's outside the atmosphere, and it's like, okay, well
What
you got
about
people say,
distance? You're not answering
I'm
the
trying
question.
to tell you. I'm
Okay,
trying to tell
what
you.
about distance measuring? Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell you. Like distance measuring, you got people, who talk about fisheye lens. You got people who talk about depth perception at certain angles in certain places of the Earth. For instance, if you notice, so you see that flat Earth model that you have right there? It's completely flat. But even if the Earth really was flat, every part of it wouldn't be completely flat. Obviously, we have mountains. So if you're measuring something from a distance,
course, and we describe it, and
just at a higher place than the distance, you know what I mean? So that would be redundant. The same thing for a globe Earth.
I'll just keep turning off your camera, Nathan. I'm good with that.
So let's stop for a moment. What is it you believe is the control they can use in order to be able to determine distance knowing that the Earth has hills. What's the control they use? I'm not even a glober.
A level.
Like,
A level.
well,
They level.
close, but don't they often use lakes? Because if it's a flat
Yes.
Earth, water levels out, correct?
All right, that's fair enough.
Yeah, it's called.
So
fluid
isn't
static.
that exactly why a lot of experiments are done around places like Lake Michigan?
It's called fluid statics. Large bodies of water at rest are level and horizontal.
We're talking to
All right.
Stellar. You left. I'm happy to talk to you in a moment, Nathan. But you left.
No, you're not. You've been triggered the whole time.
Whatever you need to tell yourself to feel better about yourself.
I think that's number 13.
Stellar. So we use water because in theory, water is meant to level out. So if it was flat, that would mean that the water on one side of a lake would be flat compared to the other side of the lake. Now there's waves. We understand that. But we can also observe the waves over a period of time in order to identify what is the average of what that wave differential is on each side and determine what the median, or really what the average is. So you understand that to be what, quote unquote, it's not sea level, but lake level would be in that situation.
I like that. I like to hear that because that offers more room for questioning. I don't necessarily have an answer to that now, but I'm almost positive because this journey that I'm going down discovering this, I'm almost positive in less than 2 weeks I'll have that answer. Because I found with this and how far I've been getting down this rabbit hole, there's an answer to every one of your questions. And that's the crazy part about it. And there's also a scientific answer to every one of them too. That's what keeps me having such an open mind, which makes me feel like I know nothing of what the Earth is, because it all makes sense. Because then I can ask you, like I was asking you earlier, like, why is the moon landing definitely faked?
Oh
What
my
other
God.
purpose? What other purpose?
Well, Stellar, my question is that you said in 2 weeks you'll have the answer. Is it because you have to actually go and find it in some weird corner of the flat Earth conspiracy to find the answer?
No, it's because I'm very open-minded, and he made a very valid point. He said water was level to the example that I gave over distance measuring. And although I may not know the answer to that now, I'm not just going to be like, oh, right, okay, that's one thing, so I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket and believe this, you know?
But
I mean, I'm
Stellar,
open-minded to it.
but Stellar, do you think that it is always good to be open-minded?
Yes,
Because
in every
in
instance.
in this case, and this is like comes from like curiosity. I am a scientist. I have a PhD in genetics, and I cannot imagine how it is to be against what the whole scientific community says.
That's a
Well,
bad.
that's because you know, like, you got to imagine, like, that was the same thing. Like, people were getting offed back in the day for believing that the Earth was a globe. So, you know, it's the same thing. Like, I'm sure if you would have asked them or debated them, they would have said, I just can't believe thinking anything else.
Stella,
You
let
know?
me interrupt
Yeah,
you for a moment. Are
but-
we still getting offed today? Is that threat still here today?
I mean, if you're offering to get me off, I mean, no, I'm playing. I'm joking.
Are people who believe in the globe Earth model, are they going after and trying to off people in the flat Earth community?
No, they just yell at them on lives.
Okay, so the concern you're talking about is not relevant, right? People should not be afraid of being unalived for speaking the truth, right?
Unless you're a NASA employee.
Well, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying as an example, like other.
I know,
people
but
back
it's a
in the
bad
day-
example. It's not an example
No.
if it's not applicable, and it's not applicable. So
No,
the concern.
she said, oh, I just can't imagine you going against all of science. And like the example was pretty much to just highlight the fact that people going against science, which is what caused people to come up with a globe Earth model in the first place.
Well, hang on. The reason I'm going to go back to the moon landing part. You have to believe the moon landing is faked in order to believe it's a possible flat Earth, correct?
So is
You have
this
to believe in
Wrong.
gravity to believe
Hold
in a
on,
globe
Jimmy.
Earth.
Hold on, Jimmy.
Stellar, you have to believe the moon landing is faked, correct?
Wrong.
Shut up.
I'm not 100% certain about that because, like I said, I'm not a flat earther.
All right. The
Iris, can I
photos that
tell-
NASA has taken, which flat earthers love to call composites, that show that the Earth is a globe. Do you believe that those are faked intentionally?
Well, there's also things. There's also things that NASA has that's like that
Do
has out
you
that is out
think
to the
the
public.
images of the Earth taken from NASA
Oh
are
yeah, they're
faked?
definitely skewed. Yes,
Okay, so
that's
you believe.
certain.
Hang on. So then
That's
you
a
believe
fact.
they. No, it's not a fact. What you're saying is they're a composite, right?
Yeah, they were
Correct?
definitely photoshopped. Like they've
No,
come
no,
out
no.
and said,
Stop. NASA, or saying the word photoshopped implies digital editing in order to be able to deceive. Okay, you talk about Kim Kardashian's face being photoshopped, right? My question is, are you have to believe that NASA's the overall material truth of the globe shape that is represented in images that NASA puts forward as being images of the Earth, you have to believe those are fake, correct?
yeah.
Okay. Can you explain to me why is it other countries are engaging in the same fraud?
It's an international.
Well, you have to imagine. Yeah, it's got to be international from that because why else would
Why
all
would
countries,
Russia and U.S. coordinate on that one issue?
why would all countries team up to make sure that no one goes to Antarctica? You know,
Why would Russia and the U.S. conspire together in order to lie about that specific thing?
Globe is the religion of the state.
And just to be clear, you're able to go to Antarctica. I don't know
Because
why
globe
people
is-
always say that.
Globe is
no,
the
you
religion
can't
of
go
the
to
state.
Antarctica.
Yes, you
You can only go
can.
to so many parts of Antarctica.
So you can go to Antarctica, correct?
The kind of like the entrance.
Is there a law? Hang on, and this is my ignorance. Is there
There
a
is,
law?
yes.
Hang on. Is there a law that says you're not allowed to take a boat within 20 miles of any part of Antarctica?
Yes, it's called the Antarctic Treaty.
I'm not sure exactly.
Is it 20 miles, 80 miles? Hang
Hold
on,
on.
you've got a horrible.
Angel, you're gonna have to swipe out and swipe back into the app because you have an echo.
Okay, I'll be back.
You don't have to leave. Just swipe
Nope,
out.
you're
and then
good.
Swipe in.
Irish, how big is the border around Antarctica?
In terms of you being able, when you say border, you're talking about as a result of the Antarctic
Right.
Treaty?
No. I'm saying just like how big is Antarctica and how hard would it be to patrol you crossing for say Antarctica? Like would it be
Your
like
question's not being
enormously
very
large?
clear. I'm really sorry. When you're saying how hard would it be to
believe-
cross?
I'm a glober. I'm a glober. I'm a glober. I'm a
I believe
glober.
what Jimmy's asking
No,
is
no,
that-
I just don't understand the question. How hard
Well,
would it be to cross it? What do you mean?
What Jimmy's asking is that would there be a possibility of the border being protected all
It's
across?
impossible. It is thoroughly and unequivocally impossible. They can't even protect the United States Mexican border. So it's impossible to protect that border. It's just not feasible. It's not feasible.
Well,
The
then-
manpower
That's why
the
I'm asking.
manpower it would take.
That's why I'm asking. So I'm familiar a bit with the Antarctic Treaty, like not a lot. I know it was done with Russia during the Cold War. That's about it, right? What is the border that I believe it says you're not allowed to go to Antarctica and set foot. And I believe that there's been exceptions made to that now, and there's certain areas you can go to. But you don't have to go to Antarctica to prove it, right? The question is more so you just have to be able to get to the border of it. So the Antarctic Treaty prevents you from getting how close to the Antarctic? Does anyone have an answer to that? And I will let Nathan also answer that.
Called the 60th parallel. There's videos of people being turned around by destroyers.
I asked you how far, how close does it allow you to get?
The 60th.
Within how many miles?
I don't know the mileage. It's 60 degrees.
So they say the 60th parallel, but they don't. What they really mean is the 60th degree of latitude.
Oh, got it. So you're not allowed to go south